All right, well, that was kicked off by, again, our Director of Economic Development, Rob Dixon. So now I'm gonna do some introductions here. So our facilitators today are David Slater from Clay County EDC. I am Brian Noller from Northland Career Center and also serve as the Northland Education Business Alliance co-chair. And then we have Abby Brightwell Gray from Platte County EDC. And then we have Ricky Donner from ATS. We have Bob Clemens from LMV, Aaron from General Mills, Morgan from Clifford Power, and Wally from, I always want to say help me with your, why am I drawing a blank, Wally? I always want to say the old
Standard Arrow.
Standard Arrow, thank you. So, so apologize for that. And we have with us Adam Jelinek, who is also from LMB. So Ricky, do you want to start out and just tell us a little bit about your company and your position? And I need you to, you flipped your mic off. There you go.
There you go. Good morning. Hi. So I am the Regional HR Director here with ATS, which is Aviation Technical Services. We are located in the Northland adjacent to KCI. Similar to take your car to the shop, what we do is we work with commercial airlines to support their maintenance. So we're considered an MRO, which is a maintenance, repair, and overhaul. So essentially the aircraft comes in, whatever scheduled maintenance it is, we'll work with that. We are currently supporting, again, the commercial airlines, which would be Delta, Sun Country, which is an Amazon customer, Air Canada. We've worked with Southwest and things like that. In regards to building a future workforce for aviation, the industry data shows that we are lacking. We have more positions open than we do skilled technicians. Obviously, it's imperative that we build that pipeline to where we can ensure that we meet the commitment of our customers and then also the flying public. So that's about ATS.
Aaron, would you like to go next?
Sure. So my name's Aaron. I am the HR assistant here at General Mills. What we do here is we bring in the wheat and turn it into flour that you buy in the stores. You buy your gold medal and biscuit that is all produced here. Kind of like Ricky said, we have a big need for skilled maintenance and controls techs at this time in Kansas City. And we're really having a hard time filling those roles. It's a good place to work. What we do is you watch the wheat come in the wheat house, they clean it, and they take that wheat and we make it into flour, and then we produce it into what you see in the grocery stores, or we also send it to pizza shops, and we send it out in bulk also. So we have a packaging department, we have a warehouse department, and then our mill, the mill is the people that actually grind the wheat into the flour so that we could produce it into to good food to go out the door.
Okay, let's have Bob, are you ready now? Are you good?
Yeah, I think I am. I'm having some connection problems. I got my IT person trying to fix it here. Yeah, my name is Bob Clemens. I'm the HR manager at LMV Automotive Systems. We basically we weld. We make the complete underbodies for the Ford Transit and the GM Malibu. So we're about 650-ish employees, about 500,000 square feet. So we've been here about six and a half years. So we kind of call ourselves the biggest company in the area that nobody ever heard of. So we're pretty proud of that sometimes. But that being said, it is struggling. We do struggle getting a good workforce, and I look forward to the questions and sharing the views on that. But that's me.
Thanks, Bob. Morgan, you want to go next?
So my name is Morgan. I work for Clifford Power Systems. I am a service sales representative, but Clifford Power in general does generator service, sales, which is Generac equipment, and rental. We also have a parts department within our organization as well. So we're always looking for skilled technicians as well as people to work in parts and sales. So I'm actually a former student of NCC, the diesel technology program in particular, and I've been in the industry for the last 10 years. So glad to share any insight and questions.
Morgan, and then Wally, do you want to round us out?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. My name is Wally Worth. I'm the general manager at Standard Aero. We're located in North Kansas City. And similar to what Ricky described at ATS, we're an FAA repair station, which means we overhaul aircraft components. So whereas ATS gets the whole aircraft, we get a whole bunch of the parts that are put together to make up the aircraft, primarily on the engine side, supporting both all the commercial airlines like Southwest and United, but a lot of military applications as well through the U.S. government. So all of our warfighter aircraft and cargo aircraft, most of their like the others, there's a great opportunity for skilled mechanics. We've been here about 50 years and look forward to continuing to partner with the different education systems around the Northland.
That's great. Abby is going to interrupt me if she's got any questions from the people who's joined us, but I've got some right here. So we're going to start to talk on top of this list. Bob, you'll go first. If you were offering advice to educators, which courses, experience, or concepts would you want to ensure are taught to students so they can have success in your field?
That's a great question. You know, when you're talking about the skill sets that we require, you know, obviously welding is important. And I know, you know, Brian's school, they're pretty good at that. So, you know, when we're talking specific skill sets for skilled trades, welding, robotics, electrical, those types of things are very important to us. But really, what's equally as important are the soft skills as well. As, you know, when you're coming to work every day, those types of things, we have, you know, attendance is obviously an issue. So, you know, if you can teach the kids about attendance and how important it is, and, you know, we talk about it at school, but it's even more important at work. And then also just how to talk and interact with people. You know, I think in the world that we're in today, especially now with COVID, you know, it's people are not, they're not getting that practice of interacting face to face with people. But places like at mine, where it's manufacturing, we're actually coming to work every day, and you can see we got masks on and still, you know, to protect us. But, you know, those are the things that we struggle with. So, I don't know if I answered your question thoroughly enough, but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Well, if you didn't answer thoroughly enough, we'll let Ricky do it, right? No, that was great. Ricky, what do you think needs to be taught?
Hi there. Yeah, I align directly with Bob, what he said. Obviously, the technical trade curriculum that NCC offers in regards to aviation is you know, helpful, but obviously, you know, character is just as important as knowledge. So with that, along with the soft skills that he mentioned, attendance, teamwork, humility, just setting themselves up with the career ready etiquette, that's something that we're looking for as well.
Nice. Morgan? Can't hear you.
Sorry, guys, I was muted. You know, just to kind of add to that, just learning about safety and responsibility in general, I think that's a huge piece. That's actually 2 of our core values here. So, you know, it's a good thing to be safe. It's a good thing to be responsible. Another thing is just to be engaged, like what you do, be a participant in the team. Like that's super huge. So learning all of those skills in a class setting is ideal before you get into the real world.
Aaron, what do they have to learn to get to work at General Mills?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What classes would if you were offering advice to educators, which courses or experiences are you recommended?
We have many different skill sets here. We have mechanical, electrical. We have people who can run packaging lines. As far as the skills, I would say, just, you know, if you can learn as much as you can about, you know, how the mechanical work of like a packaging line works or a motor works, that would probably go a long ways for employment here at General Mills. The plant's 100 years old, so a lot of the equipment. So there's a lot of work to be done on the equipment also. So So just learning the skill set, and like Morgan said, we're really big on safety and want everyone coming to work safe and going home safe to their families. So that's a real big point that General Mills likes to kind of put out there.
Good. Wally?
In addition to what everyone else has described, you know, a lot of the work we do here is very unique and specialized that you can't really get training outside. So a lot of it's having that willingness to learn, listening capability, but basic math is definitely something to focus on. Adding, subtracting decimals is something the operators do every day, and it's critical that it gets it right down to 3, 4, 5 digits of decimal places. Then technical writing would be the other one I could think of from an educational standpoint that really makes a big difference, being able to write in a technical way and read it as well.
Okay. Abby, if you don't have anything?
I do actually. From Camden Noller, Brian's also typing in an answer right as we speak. But Camden wants to know, what college degrees do you have? I assume
Just as a heads up, that's my 11-year-old who has joined us. So
Oh.
I encouraged him to join us. So he wants to know what type of experiences or degrees you have to have. So hello, Camden. So I'll let them answer.
So I'll jump in and go first. I have 2 associate's degrees from State Tech, Wesleyan State. They are in medium heavy truck and electric power generation. So I am in a sales seat here. However, I have no sales, formal training, right? The reason that I hold the position that I do is because of my technical training. I'm able to talk to my customers intelligently on the mechanical side of things and explain those at an easy level. A lot of people don't know a lot about their generator, or sometimes that they even have one. So talking to them on a very basic level of how mechanical things operate and explaining why it's important to do good maintenance is a very important piece of my job. So like I said, 2 associate's degrees, medium heavy truck and electric power generation.
Nice. Bob, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. For about myself, I have a bachelor's degree in business with a major in human resource management. So that's my personal background. But just similar to Morgan, when I got into this industry, I was working in the facility. So I have some technical background as well, but that's what my degree is in. For just to kind of talk a little bit more about what we require for degrees in different fields, our plant is, we kind of hit all topics. So we have accountants, we have engineers, we have IT, we have HR, we have a whole gamut of all the different types of fields in our plant. And so, and some of those for engineers, obviously, an engineering degree is important. So that's what we require for most part. For those people in HR, business degrees or stuff like that. IT, obviously, there's different technical degrees. So it depends on the field. And in our industry, in our plant, actually, we also promote from within, and we will send people to school to get their degree, and we'll pay for it. So that's kind of how we do it.
Ricky? Oh, I'm sorry.
What was that?
Ladies first. Go ahead, Ricky. I'm sorry, Wally. Go next.
Okay. So personally, myself, I have a bachelor's in human resources and a master's in leadership, with organizational leadership. With our positions here at ATS, the A&P, so the airframe and power plant license is the main focus that we have here. We've actually established an apprentice program that helps you train while you work to help you test for that. So you get paid while you're working and getting on the job training to be able to be successful with that. In addition to what Bob had mentioned, we do have IT positions here as well, that would go with the different certifications that they have. About supply chain, that would come down with different lean items with that. So we've got a variety of support staff, different certificates and license and things like that. But our primary one is the A&P license.
Wally, what do you need?
I have a bachelor's of science in mechanical engineering, so I don't get to use it as much as I used to, but I still have that basis in the background. An engineering degree gives you a lot of flexibility, but you don't have to be an engineer for your whole career if you find a different career path, and that's been a great opportunity. But like the other companies, we've got the finance, we've got HR, other engineering, large quality department. High school diploma is a great way to get in on the ground floor as well. So plenty of opportunities. It's a matter of finding that interest and learning about it and moving forward.
Very good. Aaron?
Yeah, I have a associate's degree in business and accounting. As far as the company goes, we have a lot of the same things that everyone's already mentioned, the HR, IT, but our production force is mainly comes out of high school. And a lot of people have been into VOTEX and have learned their skills that way. We also, in our maintenance department, we do have the opportunity for the maintenance and our controls techs and our line leaders to go to a school and to get more experience in both mechanical and electrical work. And then as far as the packaging lines and our mill lines, they are all just out of high school, and they just come in and we do train people on the floor to do the jobs that we need done. So I absolutely have to have a college degree to come here.
That's awesome. Abby, is anybody giving you a question?
No questions. So please do not be shy. Those of you attending, whatever you want to know, please ask.
Right. Okay, so let's start again with Bob from the top. What advice would you offer to parents to help prepare the students for future workforce success in your given field?
Yeah, that's going to be a long answer, but I'll try and shorten it. Really, from a parent standpoint, I'm a parent as well. We want our kids to succeed, but it really is. It's the work ethic is what I think that they can probably instill in their kids more than anything. And when I say that, it's kind of what I said in the very, very beginning. Coming to work on time is and being here is very difficult, but just wanting to work hard. We have a large group of our workforce. They don't want to work more than 40 hours in a week, right? Or even work the 40 hours in a week. So those types of things we struggle with on a daily basis. Attendance in our plant-wide attendance is significant. So, if you have 600 people, in our plant, we might have 30 people that call out in any given day, which, is a significant disruption to our business. So, it's really that, wanting to come to work, knowing that it's important to be here. Other people count on you. If you're not here, then, other people are going to have to pick up the work that you're not doing because you're not here. So those types of things I think parents can instill into their children, and not only that, but it's just the ability to work with others and get along with others is really important because in our industry, that's very important.
Very good. Ricky?
Yeah, completely aligned again with Bob. One thing that I think that important, when I was going through high school, the focus was primarily on a 4-year university and getting a degree with that. I think, working at aviation or at ATS and understanding it's just the importance of the trade industry and the skill sets that you learn with that. Our mechanics are well compensated. They have career paths that we call flight paths. And so it's the importance of understanding that that's, a huge opportunity for individuals that are mechanically inclined, and that's their passion, that they can be very successful in these trade skills.
Morgan?
Yeah, before you go to Morgan, sorry, I just want to jump in because I agree, Ricky, it's 100% correct. Is, in our industry, you don't have to have a degree to be successful. When I started with this company, I didn't have a degree. They paid for my degree, and I got it over years. So we have a large portion of our workforce that is leading a very healthy, productive life and being very successful, and they do not have degrees because, you know, we pay well, we have great benefits, and we have good teamwork here. So sorry, I didn't mean to jump all over you, Morgan. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. So I would agree with what both of you have said. I think it's very important to talk to your kids and see what they're interested in, and really like kind of seek some of those things out. You know, there's lots of opportunities at Northland and other VOTEC centers that can introduce you to all kinds of skilled trades. So just kind of, you know, when you're in high school, you get the opportunity to kind of seek some of these things out and see what you would like, because really after high school, I mean, life gets real quick. So know what, you know, have an idea of what you want to do and seek those things out. And don't be afraid to, you know, ask people for an opportunity, whether that's at a ground level. For example, where I started was at Midway Ford. I walked in asking for an internship. So, and that's really where I started my career. So, you know, ask for those things, see if people are willing to teach you, and you can learn all kinds of stuff. Just listen.
Aaron?
Okay, sorry, I couldn't get unmuted. I have to agree with, you know, what everyone said. Going last kind of doesn't leave me very much to say, but I don't think parents should not, you know, put so much pressure on a 4-year degree. There's a lot of jobs out there that you can make a good living with and be successful. And also going back to what I think Bob said about attendance and all, we've had with this pandemic, we've run 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts for months now. So, you know, so when people came in here, they didn't really expect to see that. So we're seeing kind of a whole new industry right now, but there are a lot of hours, and they will, hopefully this pandemic will go away, but just the work ethic that you have to come in with, wanting to work and be on time and do your job and work as a team.
What can you add to that, Wally?
A lot of the same, but a couple other things just would be, you know, communicate, you know, teach your children. I've got a 13-year-old, and so prime 7th grader, but communication. But the other thing I see in the schools, at least, is the opportunity to retake tests, and, you know, it's okay to mess up the first time, I'll get it next time. You know, when you get out in the professional world, that's not always necessarily the case. I'm not sure what universities look like now, but, you know, the key is be prepared for what you're putting out there, and be prepared to do it right the first time.
Good. Abby, nothing yet?
Perfect. Great answers, guys. It looks like Camden wants to know, just basically, what does a first day on the job look like for your respective roles, but in industries?
I can start off. Here at ATS, you would attend what we call New Partner Welcome, which goes through and kind of explains the company, goes through our safety items, those kind of nuts and bolts of what it's to be employed here, benefits, policies, things. I mentioned before too that we have the apprentice program. So after you learn the customer training, the customer paperwork, then you go into what we call MRO fundamentals to understand exactly what an MRO does. And then that just starts the progression of, again, the flight path that we have that would be through the apprenticeship program. So a lot of it is just to acclimate yourself with the company, your teammates, the facility as well, and then get to know who you're going to start working with.
You want to add to that? All right.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, where we're at, we basically do something similar. We do what we call an orientation, where we're going through, here's the work environment you'll be in, here's some of the machinery you'll be working on, here's our policies and our rules, here's you know, the things that are important to us that we want everybody to know when they hit the ground running. So That usually takes a couple of days to do that. We're like a day and a half actually. And we're going through different policies on do's and don'ts and, safety protocols. And we have a number of compliance training that we have to do before anybody starts work. So those types of things is what we do on day 1 and day 2.
We at General Mills, we have like it's a 4-day orientation session. And at that time we go through all the HR stuff, get all that done. And then you get the opportunity to have lunch with our leadership team, get to know them. And also we have tons and tons of safety because there's a lot of moving parts out there. And you get a tour of the plant, and we have 10 stories up and a quarter of a mile to the back of the plant. So there's a lot of stuff to be seen. So we spend a good 4 days just orientating people on the plant, being safe, and letting them know we're glad they're here.
Great. All right. If anyone else wants to add in, David, want to go ahead and ask another question?
I will, and we'll work from the bottom up this. I'm working off this little brochure thing. So Wally, you're going to be first step. What type of jobs are within your industry related to professional careers and or skilled trade careers?
Well, we're a business of about a little over 100 people. So but we've got all of the disciplines within the site to support a full business. So from engineering, quality, IT, accounting, HR, customer service, production operations would be the primary, and safety as well. So each of those departments has a leader, and then some of them have staff associated with them to support. So engineering degrees, business degrees, finance degrees, and within that business, you could have HR, you could have, customer service, IT as well. So it's pretty diverse opportunity. And what I like about at least our company is the size, where you may be the accountant, or I may be the general manager or the HR person, but they get to do a lot of other things as well. They get to have an influence and an impact to other areas of the business. And you're not just focused on one little aspect of it. So it's a good team, and you wear a variety of hats, which sometimes can be a burden for sure, but can help make the job more enjoyable as well.
Aaron, you want to take that? What type of?
Yeah, as far as degrees, we are in the milling industry, so we do have a lot of people, almost too many people from K-State around here, but that's milling. That's a milling school, and that's where you learn, all the ups and downs of a milling plant and what you do. So, like Wally said, we have IT, we have team leaders, we have the production floor, we have finance, we have, all the different roles. The team leaders are basically in charge of a department, and they they have a group of 10, 12, 14 people that work under them. And then we have, of course, like I was talking about, the production floor and everything. So there's a big gamut of what you can do here at General Mills also.
What do you need?
All right. Well, David, we have a couple of questions.
Oh, good. Let's go, Abby. Go. Let's get them involved.
So Polly Matson would like to know, what suggestions do you have for classroom teachers wanting to incorporate employability skills training in their curriculum?
So I'll chime in here. I think, and I know NCC does this, but I think it's really important to do mock interviews. That's something that people are not comfortable with. Public speaking in general, right? So just being more comfortable in front of strangers and being able to articulate yourself is important. And I think I give NCC a hand for that. And I would say all teachers should be incorporating that in their curriculum for sure.
Yeah, I'll add on to what Morgan has stated. NCC has done a wonderful job with the mock interview and setting them up for success and explaining the etiquette of it prior. In addition to that, they also do the career fairs, which that's a good opportunity for an individual as they're starting. That's your first, interaction with a potential company. So essentially interviewing at that career fair. And so they have the opportunity where students get to go around and do that. So I think it's etiquette of interviewing, proper communication, items like that that would help. I know we mentioned this earlier too, even, just ensuring that you're able to communicate in written and verbal will help set up success as well.
I would add real quick the internships. If you can find internships for your students, I think that's a good way for them to find out if that's what they want to be in, and then it kind of gives them a hands-on. We've had some success with Northland Career Center and in some of our intern. We've gotten some employees from there. So I would just encourage your students at a high school level to find an internship program and see if that's really where your niche is, really what you want to do.
That's great. Great responses. We've got another question here. I guess kind of building off of what we just discussed. How do you feel, from Athenagram, how do you feel area school districts could better engage with the trades so we can offer more opportunities to students who may not have otherwise known of these options? Oh, and also, Brian, I'm sure you saw this, if the panelists would be willing to share their email address after.
On the second part of that real quick, I'll reach out to all of you if you're willing for me to share I won't ask you to give me a thumbs up now, but if you're willing to share, I'll email you and say, hey, are you willing to share? And Athena will get back to you, we promise. So, okay. Thank you.
That question, that's a hard question to answer with the fact of, I could probably speak for all of the panelists here. We would love an opportunity to connect with schools. For example, with ATS, we've partnered with and then Liberty in different areas where we've come in and had like a day where we were able to explain what we do, and then that in turn kind of dovetails you into how to prepare for that. I think this is a great opportunity in all school districts, as the trades are becoming more prevalent, to have that opportunity. So I think it's the opportunity for us to be able to connect with those things, to be able to have those conversations.
Yeah, I'll echo that. We're partnered with Northland CAPS, NCC, and I've had the opportunity many times over the last few years to go in and do a panel like this. I think NEBA does a real nice job, NCC does a real nice job of helping facilitate that, because I can imagine at the school district or the individual school, it may be more challenging to have that network of who to reach out to. But, I think aligning with those organizations is maybe the best avenue, as they've already got a pretty diverse assortment of business partners to support that kind of activity.
So I'll chime in and say, so obviously I haven't been in high school for a while, about 10 years. However, when I was in school, I personally had to push to go to the VOTEC and do that. So what I would like to see, and maybe this is happening, is the counselors really saying, hey, this is an option. And I don't want to say pushing it, but making it known, because if I wouldn't have known upperclassmen that were in VOTEC, I may have never known of that opportunity. So just at the local high school level, making it known that that is an option, I think that's huge.
Yeah, I just want to jump in as well. On top of what Morgan said, I 100%, that's actually what I was going to say. But on top of that, if the school can involve the parents to let them know there's opportunities, because they're going to be the ones that are going to have the most influence on their kids, right? So I think that one, counselors make it available, make it known that it's available, that you can still lead a good life without going to four-year college, we've talked about earlier. But also the parents need to be involved in that discussion. Sometimes I think they get left out.
That's great. Well, we don't have any other questions at this time. So go ahead, David.
Okay.
Hey, David, can I interject some of Bob's comment? Bob, that's a great comment too. And I think skilled trades in general, and specifically, we struggle a little more manufacturing than we do with to get kids. We've got a pretty good diesel enrollment and a really good aviation enrollment. I think skilled trades and specifically manufacturing, I think getting to the parents. And we did a parent event last January. We had a little bit of a snow situation, but we'd love to be able to brainstorm again to get parents involved in these conversations, because you're right. We've got some kids on here. We've got some college folks on here. We've got some teachers, but how do we get the parents? And that's the venue that we're looking for from Northland Education Business Alliance, because we know that's a huge part of this. It's almost like bringing a college recruiter coach, basketball coach into a home to almost at this point now to get the parents involved, to get them. I know that sounds crazy to have, where any of us would think would actually go engage with the parents, but I feel like that may have an influence on getting more kids in skilled trades. So just note that we're working through our strategic plan with NEBA on that very point. So thank you for bringing that up.
And David, I'm gonna interrupt you again, but Polly has a question. How do you work with middle school age students so they are better able to choose the courses in high school aligning with their interests?
We've had the opportunity here at Standard Arrow to even down to 7th grade, had a couple classrooms where the instructor reached out to us through one of these events I was attending and asked to bring it. And we set up a tour event where the 7th graders could come and learn some basic measurement techniques and some industrial type applications. And it was very successful from at least the interest aspect. And I think that's a great time frame of a student's life to start introducing some of these skilled trades, because it is a little more exciting, perhaps in the middle school arena, to see the machines, to see the robots, to see the fire coming out of a torch, to really get them engaged and make an impact.
We also have had junior high school students come through here on tours, and also have had our mill team leaders go out to the school and demonstrate how a piece of wheat is turned into flour, and they kind of see how the process works. So we haven't done that, of course, for a little while since probably since this year started, but we have had schools reach out to us, and we have set up opportunities like that too.
Yeah, aligning with Aaron, we also have the students, we provide tours for the students and also for educators too, so that they can kind of see what it is that we're doing. It's a total, for us in aviation, walking onto an airplane is totally different than walking under it. So I think it really does kind of spur more interest or stir more interest of individuals when you actually get a see that you're doing. So the tours would be a good opportunity.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say if anyone else wanted to add in, so go ahead.
Yeah. So pre-COVID, we did a lot of that stuff as far as tours and stuff like that, and going into schools. And our stance, our company has taken a pretty hard stance on the safety of our employees. So the tours we've canceled for this year until further notice. But stuff like this, I think that we could do more. And we are going to start opening up a little bit here, probably in the summer, getting back to some of those activities. But with that being said, from an administrative standpoint in the education field, it would be nice if they had, and maybe they do, and I'm not aware of it, but maybe they should have a certain part of their curriculum where that is part of it, so that they expose these kids and hopefully their parents to the other opportunities, right? So that would be my hope, that we could do something like that as far as an education system where a certain percentage of their education has to show them what else is out there, via tours, via people coming in, whatever.
Okay, so how do you currently partner with schools to attract future candidates? I mean, I know COVID's probably dampened that a little bit, but do you reach out? Do you offer internships? Do you do you reach out to individual schools or districts or anybody want to take that?
We've been able to maintain a relationship with Northland CAPS over the course of this year, and in the fall had some projects that were done remotely at the CAPS facility where they all gathered every day, every week, and they provided great support, and I was able to go on to their site to do the design reviews and the various activities with them rather than bringing them on site. We do have 2 interns this spring through the CAPS program, so they're doing a very nice job of taking the COVID precautions as a program. So we felt comfortable in that they could meet our requirements to be on site.
Yeah, here at LV, we also have internships. Mainly it's been in our engineering department for the last year, but we are going to open that up to some other areas of the facility, hopefully this summer.
Yeah. So what degrees, certifications, what do you need to get to work in the manufacturing areas of your businesses? Not so much accounting or IT, but let's go ahead. We'll start with Aaron, since you don't like going last. Let's take you from the top, girl.
Like I said before, most of our production staff do not have degrees. They come in without degrees. The more technical departments, like the mechanics and the electricians, a lot of them have some background in mechanics and electrical background. But as far as the rest of the production field, it's just a good work ethic, and you come in and you're willing to learn. And if you're the right person and you have a little bit of, kind of production idea, how the production world works and how fast the lines run and stuff, where you really don't have to have a degree, just a desire to work and work hard and to learn a new trade.
And David, I think some of them answered that question earlier. Morgan, did you have a chance to answer that one? I'm not sure if you were able to or not.
So in regards to our technicians, we do like for them to have a background in either some kind of diesel, automotive, something in regards to that industry. Some of them do have certificates or background in the military also. So it's not necessary to have a degree. We're looking for someone who's going to be engaged and is trainable and knows that safety is an importance to us. So not everyone has a degree. Some of us do, some of us don't. So it just kind of varies. Again, don't be afraid to ask, even if the job description says that you need a bachelor's degree. If you have training and or experience in that industry, go ahead and ask. Worst they can tell you is no.
Yeah. Where do y'all find your workforce? I mean, do you go out to like one ads, or like Monster, or those are all outdated, I guess. But where do you find your workforce? Because it's got to be hard to find a workforce right now.
So I'm not specifically looking for that because I'm not in HR. However, I do know that we do post ads on Indeed and specific, as well as we have a careers tab at the bottom of our website that you can go to and always see all of our open positions through our 13 locations. So that's definitely something that we share. Now, I do know that there are some recruiting agencies that are looking for technicians in particular. So sometimes we work with them. We do partner with NCC in specific. So I typically come in once a year and talk to the kids because I am from the diesel program and tell them kind of like how I got to where I am and a little bit about that. So they know about Clifford in that way. So there's also colleges that do, career fairs, and we will attend those. We typically at least go to Lynn State. And there's another one in Arizona that I'm spacing on their name right now, but that's typically what we do.
Okay.
Great. Well, we got a couple of questions. Well, since Morgan, you were just speaking, this one is to you specifically. What inspired you to go into skilled trades?
So my background in this is kind of deep. So ever since I was little, my grandpa has built sprint cars, race cars. So I've always been in a garage, always been turning wrenches. I have a learning disability. I'm dyslexic. And so in high school, that wasn't something that I excelled in: reading, social studies, all of those core things, right? So when I had the opportunity to go to NCC and actually use my hands and do something that I already loved doing in the diesel program, I took that opportunity. And then kind of within that, I excelled, went to State Tech, got my degrees immediately following. I was lucky enough to land a position at Clifford in a sales seat because I had been turning wrenches for several years before completing my degree. And it wasn't something that I didn't want to do, but I'm a smaller person and it's hard work. Like, don't think it's not. And so when I had the opportunity to get in a sales seat, that's what I did. But so it really starts from when I was little. I was introduced to a shop and I loved that environment and it was something I excelled in. So I did it.
Oh, that's great. What an inspiring story as well.
Thanks.
So I'll move on to our next question from Thomas Meyer. One of the challenges we face in higher education is finding qualified faculty. Do any of you have suggestions on what we can do to find more instructors?
Can I give a shout out real quick before the answer? I want to give a shout out to Dr. Meyer, who is the president of the business technology and the Blue River campus for Metropolitan Community College. So thank you, Dr. Meyer, for that question. So there we go. Thanks.
Whoever wants to jump in, go ahead.
So I'll kind of jump in on this. And this is just an idea. This doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do, but some of these companies who are willing to do like roundtables and stuff like this, I would reach out to those people and say, hey, do you guys have any senior techs that you think will be retiring soon, right? Those are the people who have experience that may still be interested in sharing their knowledge. So maybe reach out to some of them. And I know some companies on their websites or on their LinkedIn will feature their senior top techs because they like, to promote them and, say, hey, we have these great people who do a great job. So maybe keep your eye out for that. But yeah, I would say people who are in the top of their industry that are ready to retire, that seems like great candidates to me.
Morgan, that's amazing advice with that. You could partner potentially with, like myself or Bob, who are in the HR industry and understand the retiring future or the individuals that are going towards retirement. And then they could have that connection where they would have the opportunity to connect each other to see if that's something that they would like to do. Working in an industry that you are using your hands and stuff, that can be hard on the body. And so individuals might be ready to transition into a faculty position, and that would be a good liaison and the opportunity for those connections. So great recommendation.
I agree with what you guys said there. And I think, some of the struggles you might have for those people that are currently in the workforce is probably compensation, to be honest with you. I think in our industry, you can make a pretty good living, but to go and be a teacher, it's probably a lot less than what you're making. So that's going to be a significant struggle. So, somebody who's already thinking about, I'm going to be downsizing my income because I'm going to retire or whatever might be a good option. But then again, also somebody who wants to retire is trying to retire. So it's kind of a catch-22, right? So those are my thoughts on it. I don't think I gave you any answers, but I understand the struggle for sure. And I guess, well, to that point, I don't know if there's any way to have like a part-time instructor so somebody could continue to work and then, instruct on top of that. That might be an opportunity. So that's about what I can think of.
Great. Yeah, honestly, Bob, I was going to say kind of the same thing. If they really, if you want a good instructor, and I know part-time faculty is something that a lot of colleges are leaning towards these days. So that's a great suggestion. All right, so it's 11:22, so we have a few minutes left before we wrap up. David, do you want to handle another question? We could pop in there.
Well, my sheet is finished, so no. So I'm going to ask. Okay, you guys talk about family being influential. Was there a person, an educator in your life that really influenced you to go into your career outside of your family? Anybody?
So I'll speak up. So I went to Northland. Mr. Stewart and Mr. Stafford were my instructors. And the reason that I'm currently in the generator industry is because of them. So when I was in diesel class, we kind of had some small conversations of generators, and I kind of just took that and put it in my pocket, saved it for later. And that's exactly what happened. All of those puzzle pieces kind of came together. I originally had went to State Tech for medium heavy truck. They offer the electric power generation as an addition to an already completed associate's degree. And I was asked to join that program. So yeah, kind of all those pieces fell together, and Mr. Stewart, Mr. Stafford had a huge role in just saying the word generators to me and having small conversations about like, this could be the future. And they were right.
Anybody else? Bob's getting ready to talk.
Sure. I don't, I'm not trying to think of, it's been so long ago since I was in school. So educator that influenced me, I'm not sure, because, when I started in manufacturing, I felt like I was walking down the aisle and I tripped and fell. And then when I got up, I was in HR. I don't even really know how that happened. So it's kind of one of those things where, my career really started out, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was just kind of, I joined the Marines after that. I got out and, my battery's about ready to die, so I might lose you here. But then, when I got into manufacturing, it was just, I found a good place with the good benefits and good money, and I saw opportunities. So for me, it was just the opportunity to do the things that I like, which is help people, deal with people, and solve problems.
I do find it interesting that a lot of you all start off with something besides your current position, and that you land in your position, and if it opened or just the experience you got doing the hands-on stuff created that opportunity for you. It's got to come in handy. It's just.
Well, I think
Aaron or Wally, you got. Oh, I'm sorry, Brian.
To say if anybody wants to wrap it up for us, but we're at our time, so I didn't know if anybody else wants to speak on that question in terms of recruitment of kids, or was another question out there, or like I said, all of you have been great resources, I think, multiple times. I know Ricky, Bob, Aaron, Wally, and Morgan well, and I really appreciate all of you being here. So any last words from any of you to wrap this up? It's been a great hour, and we really appreciate you. Anything you want to wrap it up with?
Just thanks for having us, guys. I think this is an important thing to do. So keep up the good work.
Right back to Brian, if there's anything that we can do to be better at this, because we always want to keep climbing.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity for us to share our organizations. We appreciate it.
And I think our NEBA's goal will be to come back to each industry probably either every year or every other year. So if you're willing to join us next year, February is kind of where we do our roundtables. So thanks for joining this time. And we've had a great morning with David, Abby, and I have tackled construction, women in skilled trades, and now manufacturing and transportation. So thank you for rounding out our day. It's been great.
Yes, thank you so much for being here.
Really
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.